My name is Amanda.
And my name is Sharon.
And welcome to the Dear Me podcast,
where we have conversations that heal.
And if you're joining us for the first time, you're very welcome. Nice to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all platforms where you listen to podcasts. And to follow us also on Instagram, which is at the dearme.podcast. That is THE Dear Me _podcast.
Okay, so today we essentially are going to be talking about friendships, particularly as an adult.
Yes.
We all must have found that to be some daunting task, particularly with the changes, that have to come with growing up. Sometimes it's changing location, it's health reasons, sometimes even life choices, education, and then we find ourselves in various circles that we've never been in. So essentially today we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah, so I will be asking you, Amanda, what is friendships for you? How would you define friendships?
I think for me, the concept of friendship has changed over time. When I was in school, friends were pretty much people I went to class with. Yeah. Oh, this is my friend, someone I know, someone I met somewhere, we're eating, we've hung out 1 or 2 times, we see ourselves outside, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's my friend. Or we've bumped into each other in a couple of places and we're familiar with our names and other friends. Be like, oh yeah, this is my friend, this is my friend. You have my number, you text me on WhatsApp, that's my friend. We follow each other on Instagram or other social media platforms, that's my friend. But now that I'm much older and certain things have happened in life, I had to sit back and really reevaluate, who will I call a friend? So what I did was I created a step sort of thing. So there's a graduation. When I first meet you, you're a stranger. I don't know who you are. Then after that, we build an acquaintanceship. So you're just my acquaintance. And sometimes people stay in that space. You could just be someone I know from work, or we work together, or we've hung out a couple of times. I will not call you my friend. But after we spend time, if you've gotten to know my partner, my other friends, my family, and we've been through a situation where during tough times, I've seen you be supportive. We've probably had misunderstandings and I've seen how you've communicated with me and we've been able to sort it out. Then I start to say, okay, this person is my friend. So certain events have to occur for me to know that you fit into a certain value system I have for friendship before I can call you a friend. And time has to go by. So you cannot be my friend in 3 months. You cannot be my friend in 1 year. Okay. It takes about 2 to 3 years before I can comfortably say somebody is my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the way you explained it from early age, when we were younger, I don't think there was any criteria for anyone being your friend. Sometimes you just had to be found either in mutual activities.
Yeah.
We never really considered what's toxic friendship, what's a friendship that's not supportive. So long as you were just there. Sometimes I even cast my mind back to when you get to a new class, particularly if you're new in school. It's literally the first person that says, oh, you can sit here, or this place is empty. And you guys just become friends.
Yeah.
As we grow up, like you have said, we come to be much more aware of what it really takes to do life.
Yes.
And then you realize that, for your mental health, for your physical health, for your social health, there are certain kinds of people you can't have around you and certain kinds of people you have to have around you. Yeah, because, of course, we need that support. And we also need people that we have to support, and in essence, we then come to be able to define who a friend is.
Yeah.
And I like the way you put levels to it. Somebody who's a stranger, then you're an acquaintance. And, there's just some time that needs to pass. And more like what you have said, you have to literally prove yourself. In difficult situations, even in happy situations.
Yeah.
Amazingly, some people have friends who are there when things are bad, but they can't celebrate with you when things are good.
That is very true.
You have people, when you succeed, they literally just have an attitude, and rather than, oh, congratulations, they're like, when will it be my own turn? I'm like, let's face the moment. So yeah, we need to also be able to define friendships. Yeah. And I think for me, defining who a friend is, particularly, it's something you said, it takes time. Yeah. You have to see them in the down season and in the up season. You have to see them, particularly when things aren't going well for both parties. Even when things are going well, you need to be able to see them. So I would say that defining friendship takes time. And it also takes whatever it is you see as fitting for your own life, per time, but of course, it's understanding the fact that everybody doesn't have to fit into the box of a friend. Everybody doesn't have to. It's okay for some people to remain acquaintances.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Some people is black and white. Is that you're my friend or I don't know you? And I've seen some people use the term so loosely. Somebody they met yesterday, oh, that's my friend. From the party I went to. I'm like, really?
How long have you known
You
this
don't even
person?
know if they have a criminal record. You don't know nothing. And then you're just there saying, oh, he's my friend. So there are definitely levels to friendships and being able to define it. So when it comes to values, which sincerely, they are the things that make our lives go round. I believe that certain alliances are formed or even broken based on values. Yeah. So when it comes to values, what would you say are the values you actually look out for before you can say this person has moved from stranger to acquaintance, this person has moved from acquaintance to very close friend, and this person is BFF?
This is not my friend.
Yeah.
I think things that are very important to me is things that is communication.
Yeah.
Open, honest communication, especially when it is very difficult to communicate. When things are like, okay, this is a very touchy thing, something you said to me, you've done to me that hurt my feelings, and that. How do you communicate your displeasure? How do you communicate your dissatisfaction with me? And how do you respond when I do the same? Like if I say to you that I'm not happy, how do you respond to that? Then there's also empathy and listening, because there are some people that when you're going through a tough time or even a good time, when you're talking to them, they're not present, they're not listening, they're not holding space for you. But when it's their turn, they want you to do the same.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are you holding space for me when I'm going through a difficult time? How are you supporting me through it? And are you allowing me to do the same thing for you when you're going through a difficult time? Or do you just isolate yourself and go off? When I was younger, I'll probably be like, oh, okay, you're isolating. Let's just be there to support. I'm an adult. I don't have time. If you don't want to talk to me, it's fine. If that's how you want to deal with your problems, that's how I'm not in the business to change you. That's for you and your therapist. So if you decide, okay, I'm not the type of person that will open up when things are going. Of course, I'll prompt you like, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. But if after a couple of times I realize that you just want to be on your own, I will create some distance from you, because that's not the type of friendship I want. I want a place where if I open up to you, you can also open up to me as well. So we both know how we're feeling and we can communicate. So communication is very, very important. It's not even just talking, but how you speak as well. Then there's also the second thing that I look out for is how do my friends deal with different opinions. So I can have like a different way of seeing life. You can have a different way of seeing life. Are you going to now shame me or cancel me because we have different ways of seeing things? Or do you know how to respect each other's differences? If we have like religious differences, we have political differences, all of these things, because we're not all going to agree. So what sort of environment do you create when we don't have the same type of we don't see eye to eye on certain situations? Then another is like, how do you respect women? I didn't honestly, I didn't even know how important that was for me until I grew older. It's like, how do you treat women? How do you respect women? Because if you don't respect women, if you don't value, why am I around you? I'm a woman. And it's not about how you treat me, it's about how you treat all women. So how do you treat women? Do you treat women with respect? If I hear that, abuse, physical, that's not a friendship for me. Even with other women, it's not a friendship I want to be in. That's not the type of person I want to have in my life. And then other things like empathy, kindness, because I'm a very kind person. I'm a nice person. So I want someone who, when I'm around them, I don't feel like I'm doing too much when I'm doing things that I consider generous and kind. Because I've been around people like that, and they would shame you for who you are. True. So I like being around people who are kind, who are patient, who listen, who are empathetic. And as I grow, I find that these values are either changing and becoming a bit more flexible with some. I'm allowing room for grace. I'm allowing room for changes to happen, for some distance to occur, and also for some closeness as well. So those are some values that I look out for. So, but those first three I mentioned, open and honest communication, active listening, being able to accommodate differences, and how you treat women are usually the first four things I'll look out for before anything else. If everything else will come after, and some of them are just embedded in those value systems. But typically that's the first thing I look out for. It's okay, what type of person are you? Yeah. Okay. What about you? What do you look out for in friends?
Picking it from where you stopped. when you mentioned, that as you grow, you begin to give room for grace, I realized that it's something that happens with maturity. It's the fact that as you grow, you tend to understand that life is not exactly as we expect or imagine. And we actually give people grace to make mistakes and actually pick themselves up, which I think is also a criteria for friendship.
Yeah.
Being able to give your friends room to grow,
Mm-hmm.
and also not even, another value for me is, having a friend, who is going through something, or they have issues with their character, parts of their lives they need to improve, and I just keep quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like it's people outside now telling them, "Oh, don't you know you're like this?" Being able to call your friends and tell them the truth about, "Oh, I think you should look at it." Of course, that doesn't now mean you go into anybody's life and put them down,
Yeah.
but just help people, be like a mirror. I think that's really great for me for friendship. But particularly it's direction for me. I don't think I want to have a friend who is going in different directions. And when I say different directions, I don't mean with regards to having differing opinion on things. I think it's with regards to what you really want to do with life. Yeah. I can have somebody who says that they would rather, just live a mediocre life, not be bothered, don't want to see to care of family, of themselves, those basic things. And one thing I also look out for is integrity. When a person
Yeah.
says they will do something, if they eventually will, of course, we know that life happens. Things happen that you're unable to make do on what you've promised. But that's the part of cycling back. Oh, I said I would do this, but I think at this moment I don't have the ability to. That works. I'm not expecting that every time you say something you should be able to, but just being able to depend on you. That's the value. That's the point of integrity, is the fact that my friend has said this, they will do it. They will show up for me. They will be here. It's something I can bank on.
Yeah.
So a friend that you really can bank on. And I think one thing I usually also look at is, I don't even also look at if you're being straight with me alone. I look at the other relationships in your life.
Yes.
You cannot isolate me as the person to be nice to.
And then everybody else, you're like treating them like trash.
Really, for some people, it makes them feel special. You're at risk. Because how can you have 100 people in your life, you're rude to 99 and nice to one? What does it take to add the one to the 99?
Nothing.
So it's not just about me and you. I also love to see healthy relationships in their life.
Yes.
Because it gives me proof that they're able to really maintain a relationship.
This just reminded me, like, two things that you said, that reliability, like being able to depend on your friend. Because there are some people in my past where it's just like, they would tell me, "Oh, Amanda, I'll do this for you," and I'll come through, and I never hear from them. And to be honest, like, the first time you do it, the second time you do it, third time, of course I'll prompt and, let you know. But if I see like it's a consistent part of your character, then I'm ditching. Like, I'm just going to create some distance. I'm not the type of person that is like, I will cut you off, except it's something really serious.
Yeah, sure.
I just prefer to just create some distance. I wouldn't, hang with you frequently. I would just invest a lot of my energy on other people that I can count on. And what you said about, 99 to 1, I learned that lesson a couple of years ago when I was trying to make a friend, and this person had like a record of, treating other people poorly. And when they would tell me about their other friendships, it was always somebody else's problem and never them.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh, you know what? Maybe this person just doesn't know what it means to have a good friend. I'm going to go in there and show them. Like, I'm going to be good to them. I'm going to treat them right. Oh, ma, they added me to that 99. Me, Steph, I chop them. Like, and I've learned now that when I see people's character and how they treat other people, I never, ever make the mistake to think I'm special, because how that person treats everybody is a definition of how they see the world. It's not about how they see you.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of opportunity has not yet put you in the position where they get the chance to treat you that way. So
Very true.
it's like, look at, before you decide this is somebody I want to be friends with, see how they treat other friends before you then say, okay, I want them to be my friend. Because if they treat other people bad, they're going to treat you bad too.
There's a target on your back.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that we all have varying values, but they're just the basics, for maintaining healthy relationships.
Yeah.
And just coming to the topic of adults, being an adult, adulthood, being friends, maintaining friendships, as we navigate that, it has proven to be pretty tricky, and come to think of it, I remember sessions in therapy, and you really see people consistently. It's about, oh, I'm lonely, I don't have anyone to talk to, or my friends, I seem to have grown past them, or they have grown past me. There's just different things that just separate us at different points in life.
Yeah.
And then you realize that, what do you drop? Do I drop growing up, for maintaining friendships?
Mm-hmm.
How do I then readjust that people then don't come to see me as, oh, or she or he is now high up there and I'm not their mate again. You call them, they don't pick. And genuinely, there are some people who have grown to a point where they can't pick every phone call. And it's not that they don't want to be friends. It's just that sometimes, too, some people don't understand the fact that a person is growing does not mean that you have to guilt trip them for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just, I called you, you didn't pick. And the person's like, okay, why don't you call me on this certain day? So how do we really, see friendships as adults?
Yeah.
What really changes for us?
But one of the things, actually, like, it's a long list of things.
Yeah.
So first of all, one of the things that starts is work.
Sure.
When you finish NYSC and
Some
you
people
have to
try to
get
stay back.
exactly. So work starts, and then many of us, because the employment climate in Nigeria is not exactly the healthiest one.
Yeah.
So we find that many people are overworking. They are so overwhelmed with work that they barely have time for anything else. And just like that, they start to lose friends. And then the friends they make are people that they work with. So they now look for people who are more attuned with their lifestyle at that moment,
Yeah.
that they cannot make room for other people who are not. Because it's like, I have to be at work from 12 to 12. So I'm only going to be around people who I see frequently. And then you'd notice that when that person quits that job, all of a sudden they have time for you. And it's like, no, it wasn't because I was trying to be a bad person. I was dying. Like, they were literally sucking my soul at my job. So employment happens. And then also we're trying to have a better life. You're relocating, you're moving. People are leaving the country. People are leaving the state.
That one is very...
Yes, it's one of the major things that have affected a lot of friendships these days, because people have left the country. Like, I know people who all of their best friends, their closest friends, have all left the country. So they find themselves in situations where they have to start making new friends all over again. Then there is now getting married, like getting into a relationship. As soon as you get into a relationship, if you used to spend 10 hours with your friend, you probably be like, hey, what's up? Are you at home? Let me come through. Now, the person you're calling is your man or your woman, like, hey, babe, I want to spend time with you, because that's the person you're trying to build your life with. So relationships start, and the relationship starts to get be serious. Then people get married. And once you get married, your life becomes even more about your family without you even knowing it. Then we have friends who have kids. And when you have kids, a child is like an extension of you. Even in your marriage, your child already takes a lot of your time. So when you now have your friends, that shift is so much. And the adjustments that people go through when their friends have children is not exactly the smoothest or the easiest one for them, because like all the time you are with the kid and not giving me as much time as you used to, and our friendship as much time as you used to. So marriage, relationship, having children, relocation, getting a job that takes up a lot of your time, even money as well. Because I realized, like, even now, as things are getting much more expensive, I don't have that much money to go out and hang out with my friends, because I'm trying to use that money to buy food. So which time am I going to use to pay transport to go? If I'm going out, it has to be somewhere that is very, very important. If not, I'm in my house. Now, if your friend lives in Aja and you live in Ikorodu, how are you going to maintain that friendship?
How did you become friends?
It's relocation now. So when these types of situations happen, money also affects, like being able to buy presents, being able to show up. Your friend is having a birthday,
surprise birthday party.
your friend,
cake?
Cake is expensive. Jesus, cake is expensive.
Cake is actually expensive.
So, being able to show up in this way also affects it. And then, like you said earlier, when we have like different directions, like, okay, we've been going on the same path, and all of a sudden you want to take a different direction with your life. Maybe you have new interests and a new lifestyle, and our lifestyles don't merge anymore. It's not because we hate each other. We've just grown apart. The things that kept us together are no longer there. We've changed as individuals, and this is the route I want to follow, and you're going the opposite direction. So people changing, people growing, people's environment changing, family dynamics changing as well. All of these things affect friendships. And even losing family members, like when you lose your dad or your mom or a sibling or a partner or a kid, grief also changes relationships as well. So all of these adult things really come into play, and then makes making friendships a bit more difficult. Even maintaining friendships you have difficult, and then making new friendships even much more stressful for you. Yeah. And then there are just people who have bad character, so you can't really make friends with them. So
true.
Yeah.
I said, in my mind, I was like, let me complicate things for you. There are actually people who get married and then relocate based on marriage. And then they're in a new place. Everybody, this one is not even your people left you. You are the one who left your people to a new place, to got married, and then you have to move to where who you got married to is, and it's a new place entirely. You know
Yeah.
nobody. For some people, it's even so bad they haven't gotten a job. They will just go there to start looking for a job.
Yeah.
So there's literally nobody. And then God help you, it's a place where time zone is different. And when you're up, people are sleeping. You're calling somebody and say, it's 1 a.m. here.
Yeah.
Who wants to have a long conversation by 1 a.m.? So that can be really can be really daunting for adult friendships.
Yeah.
You know, and just thinking of what you said, friends going in different direction. You know, there are some people who genuinely want to be your friend, but new passions that you have picked
Yeah.
up, particularly for people who spend very lavishly.
Mm-hmm.
You now want to drag your friend into it. Let's go to this party. They're selling a share beef 250K.
Hey.
In 1 month, you've bought like 2 million, and then your friend now sits down and reevaluates their life.
Yeah.
Well, if that person distances themselves from you, really, it's adulthood plus a lot of the economy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think also that one challenge people have too is catching up with their friends.
Yeah.
You know, being able to catch up with changes. And for people who are very impulsive friends, let's go to this place, let's do this one, let's do this one. Why don't you do this? So it's also having to manage that whole catching up with people while you run your own life.
Yeah.
You know, while you also explore where life is taking you. Because the truth is, a lot of people have not even discovered themselves.
Yeah.
You know, enough to even say, these are the things I'm about. We are all growing, and that's just the truth. Even for me, even a 60-year-old person is growing, because at that stage, you have even come into either grandparenthood,
Yeah.
you know, understanding what it's like to have retired, for somebody who retired early. And that phase, you know, you can imagine being retired, and having friends who are still working.
Yeah.
And then there's that, you are free now. That's why you can go to this. And when you call a friend, are you available to hang out? Say, we can hang out. You are there. You have made money early. You've retired. Me, I'm still working. So different things, particularly things that we have as personal, you know, visions for ourselves, it affects friendships. You know, one thing even comes to mind. People who get married and leave friends because their partners mandate it. There are people like that. Oh, now I'm married. I can't be rolling with single girls. And I'm like, huh? Is it not from Among Us you came? Or is there another place they picked you out from? So there are people genuinely like that. They lost friends to marriage.
Yes.
Not even relocation. It's just, you
They
just
got
find that.
married and that's it. He's
And
like,
that was it.
Mommy, I don't want you to start telling me to be going outside at night. I have my husband to go back
As
home
in-
to. I have my wife to go back home to.
And
It's
some
like
people, is their partner telling them, why would you? You're a married person. Why would you still be hanging out with
someone who is
You'll
single.
be unserious. Why would you be? Who would talk to you about marital issues? They are not aware. So there are people who actually have lost friendships to marriage.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think that also is like, there are so many things that we're talking about in this episode, and even like that, they deserve their own like episode for us to delve into, especially this dynamic of how do you balance friendships when you get married. Because if I remember someone I hung out with recently was telling me that, that as soon as he got married, like his friends that used to just pop into the house, they just stopped coming in. And I had a conversation with my girls, and one of my friends was like, that if she marries, or that she doesn't want to hear that I don't want to come to the house again. I'm just you are married now. What am I looking for in your house, my girl? Like, go stay with your man. Like, we can plan to hang out outside, but like I can't be
spontaneity.
Yeah, that's spontaneity, because now this is not just my friend's house. This is you and your man. Like, both of you are together. So I have to consider the other person. Now, whilst we're on the topic of challenges, another thing that affects friendships is health, especially your mental health. When you're not going through a very good time, and if you are the type of person that when you're having a difficult time, you isolate instead of reaching out, your friendships will suffer.
True.
They will definitely suffer.
Yeah, particularly when you haven't paid attention
To them.
So
How do you then, with all of these challenges that are going on as making friends in an adulthood, how do you then make friends? So if your friends have relocated, or your friends have gotten married, they've had kids, life has taken you guys apart, health issues, money, they have separated, does not mean that you do not need friends at all. So how do you then begin to make friends as an adult?
I think we also have to always come to the point where we realize that we can start again, you know, at several stages, at different levels. And one thing I like to tell people is, you really can never tell where you will meet a person you will connect with. You really can never tell. So sometimes you have to start off being a little rigid but flexible. Yeah. So have your basics. Yeah. But one key thing is, after you already have the mindset that you're willing to start again, because some people, the problem is not even the skill. It's that they're not even willing to put themselves out there again to even try. Some people think, friendship of 10 years, 15 years just went like that. How do I start again? Really, once you have gotten yourself to that point where you need to start again, the next thing is you really need to go out. You know, visit places. When people invite you to things at work, show up once you can. Just be there, be available. And also being friendly, having a friendly disposition. There are people who genuinely want to reach out to you, but either you're unavailable, not reciprocating, not returning calls, always having. And do you know the funny thing? Some people turn down invites to things, not for anything else, so just to sit down at home. It happens. Generally, I know some people like to be at home, but I think you should be able to find a way to balance it. It can be once a month, can be once every 2 weeks, depending on what works for you as a person. But I think that we need to work more on even reciprocating the energy you have around you first, because I know that exists. For somebody who just wants to talk, and that doesn't necessarily, like we have said, things are in levels. You don't automatically have to be BFFs to the next person who's nice or the next person. Sometimes acquaintances are just fine, for the time being, and then you allow you grow it. So it's even being open-minded to friendships, being available to reciprocate things, and also, extending a hand of friendship to people that you find interesting. Sometimes I like to look at it like trying to date someone.
Yeah.
You can actually pursue a friend, and not in a creepy way, but when you really like someone, like, I think I like this person and I want them to be in my life, you can actually expressly tell them.
Yep, that's something I do. Like when I'm making friends, I'm just like, I like you and I want to be your friend. I'm not trying to beat around the bush. I'm not trying to give mixed signals. No, like I like you and I want you to be my friend and I want to invest in this friendship, and are we on the same page so that you know what I'm about and we're not wasting time. Like I don't have a lot of years on the clock now. I'm above 30.
Very true.
Let's speed it up. So
it's very possible to pursue a person, very intent on it, and just reciprocate.
Yeah.
Don't creep anybody out, please. I said, don't creep anybody out. You know, say you want to be friends and I leave in 10 missed calls. For goodness sake, are they with your kidney? No. Of course, being friends, pursuing people, but it first starts with an open mind.
Yes.
Be open to it. Reciprocate the energy that you have around you. Then also actively look for people. Except you are difficult to please, I don't think that is a no-no. Whether from your place of religious worship, your place of work, where you go to do maybe the gym in your area, just various places. And I think it's also being very intentional about it, not expecting it to just fall on your lap.
Yes.
Good relationships take work. It's one thing I think people don't realize.
Yeah.
Good relationships are not by luck or fortune. You work on them. You have the difficult conversations. You show up. You're sacrificial. You're empath. You're everything. Good friendship, just the way you invest in a romantic relationship. Good friendships take work.
Yeah.
It's one thing so before you even go and engage anybody that wants to be your friend, you have to be sure you're not the type who will hurt people and run away or blame them. So good friendship does take work, but you have to even be open to it. It won't happen to you by luck. It won't.
And that's a change that is important to know about when you're moving from that place where secondary school, university, NYSC, there were spaces that threw you an environment with like similar minded people. Is that as an adult, you have to be intentional and courageous and bold about your friendships. So you can't just wait for people to reach out to you. You have to be bold enough to go up to someone and be like, I like you. I want to be your friend. Like, ask them out the same way you would ask someone you are in a relationship with out. Or you go out drinking and you guys exchange numbers, continuously text them. Like, reach out to them to let them know, I want to be your friend. Because we're used to, space throws us in proximity with each other and then we're able to frequently. Exactly. You have to intentionally create that to happen. So be courageous and bold enough and learn how to have small talk. I know there are people that say, I don't like having small talk. You're not going to have a deep conversation with me the first day you meet me.
Like, it was my blood type. First day.
No, you're not going to have a deep... And even if you have deep conversations with someone at a party, chances of that continuing even after is unlikely, because I find that people have deep conversations when they're outside and it's a momentary thing. It's like, I'm probably going through something. I stepped outside. I found a stranger who had a listening ear. By the time you then think about continuing that same level of depth, it becomes very difficult.
It has no foundation.
Exactly.
It was built on nothing.
It was built on a moment of vulnerability. And that moment of vulnerability is not always going to last you cannot be vulnerable every day. You'll be tired and empty. So learn how to have small talk. Introduce yourself, your name, what you do for a living, living, what you don't do for a living, what your interests are. One thing I find that's a really good conversation starter is, what are you watching these days? What are you watching on Netflix? Do you watch YouTube videos? Who are the YouTubers you like to watch? Like, or what are you reading in the papers? What do you think of this either political or economic thing that's happening? Tell me a bit about your workspace. What do you do for work? So these kinds of things are really good conversation starters, and people are eager to talk about themselves. That's one thing. So ask people questions about themselves. Go out and practice having small talk.
Yeah.
It's not every time you're going to have depth. Even in your regular, even in your friendship gone, it's not every time people are talking about your feelings. Sometimes it's guy alpha. Literally, it's just guy, how far? Sure, you do all right. Everything is fine. What's going on? 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So if you're the type of person that's like, I don't like small talk, learn how to have small talk, because small talk leads to deep talk, big talk, friendship. It's not always going to start from a place of depth. Yeah.
So friendship in itself, it's a skill, and it's something we develop by practice.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like I say, it doesn't fall on anybody.
No.
You get skilled at starting conversations, continuing them, following up. And like you rightly said, if a person is very deep with you the first day, there's a high likelihood they won't follow up. You see that because it has no foundation. All of a sudden, they've woken up in the morning and like,
whoa,
what did I say?
My friends call it post-yap clarity. You don't talk. So it's like, damn, bro, is this a therapy session? Like...
So, sometimes during the day, it just flashes. You mean I told this person this thing?
Like, whoa, what if they now put this thing on social media now? The person start looking at me this way. It's like, I can't believe I
saw receipts online.
Yeah. And they're not, or you're not even the one that you're not going on social media, they'll not start quoting you like, oh my God, I met this girl yesterday and she was talking about, people are weird. And you're just like, oh my God, this is me. I'm going to go at Yap Olympics everywhere. So yeah, so small talk is really nice because it creates room for foundation for you and someone to start something, and then you can then go deeper and deeper with them. So yeah.
So with that, really, it means we have to actually build. It's one thing to meet a person and identify them as somebody you want to be friends with. It's another thing to develop the skills to maintain it.
Yes.
So forming friendships, that's one thing entirely. Maintaining them and keeping them running and healthy, it's another thing entirely.
Yeah.
So before we even go into even talking about maintaining friendships, we just have to realize that it's work. I think it's just best to start.
Yeah.
It's work. You will show up for people. You'll be emotionally vulnerable with people. You would mirror what they feel. You would have their side. Sometimes I think there was I don't remember. I might misquote this, but there was this saying that a friend is somebody you tell, I killed somebody, and they're like, where are we burying it?
I don't know if that's Misha, but okay.
You get my point.
Yes.
I'm not saying somebody that will go to the extreme as hiding crime for you, but somebody who, would take you in, cover your nakedness, and then begin to actively work on the errors. You were not right in this place.
Yeah.
So being friends with someone, friendship does not mean buttering a person up and insulating them from the consequences of their actions. It's also helping people effectively come to terms with the consequences of what they have done. Yeah. So when you're friends with people, it's also being ready to take them on, and of course it has to be vice versa.
Yeah.
And of course you shouldn't even also expect that it would always be the same thing all the time. I think that's one thing, that people have seasons.
Yes.
There's a person's season where it's you who's literally bodying them, carrying them up.
Yeah.
And then there are seasons where it is them carrying you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, maintaining friendships. What would you say about that?
So maintaining friendships, in terms of that is work. But one thing I've learned is that sometimes a simple message on WhatsApp of, hey, how are you doing? I just thought about you.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to check up on you and know that you're well is actually good enough. I know it goes a long way. I know how sometimes my friends just send me that message. It's just on my mind. Nothing new. I know it's not deep call, nothing. Just, I just want to just wish you well, have a good day. Just knowing that somebody else is thinking about you is very nice. And that this person cares is very nice. Like, we don't have to talk deep all the time. Not every friendship conversation has to be in depth. Sometimes it's just a simple check-in that can help, especially if you are living in different time zones. There are moments where you're awake, they're awake, it's the middle of the day, and the both of you can, text each other. That's great. Memes on Instagram, on social media is a good way to, and then sometimes, infusing in between those memes, like check-ins, like, I hope you're well. Then scheduling time every month. I have a friend, she stays in Seychelles, and what we try to do every month is we'll have catch-up calls. So we'll sit like, okay, let's agree on a date and a time. We'll block it on our calendar. We'll block the time slot, a time when is, because there are 3 hours separating us. So we'll use that time to really now sit down and talk. We'll give each other a lowdown of everything that's happened. We also have voice notes. So I have friends who send me like 15-minute voice notes. It's a full podcast I'm listening to when I'm in the house. 15, 30 minutes. I'll make out time. I'll sit down. I'll listen to everything and then we'll talk. So being intentional about setting time to have conversations with your friends, especially those that are distant, is important. And then scheduling time to hang out with those who are present in your own space is also important. Let's do this together. Let's try this together. Or let me just come over to your house. We don't have to do anything. I will just chill with you. Do you want to go check this thing out with me? I can pick you up. If your friend is struggling financially, don't put them in situations where they have to pay money. So just be like, okay, don't worry. You know what? I will cover the trip one way and then you can handle the other one. Or I'll cover the trip and pay for your drinks and then you can handle your food. So trying to find ways to also support them so that you guys get a chance to be able to hang out and spend time with each other. So finding time, doing things like Netflix party, let's watch a film together. We don't have to be doing anything deep. We just want to spend time with each other doing things that we enjoy. So let's do Netflix and chill. Let's do, iMessage and drink. Anything that you can do that brings the both of you together is very important. So maintaining the friendship is intentional. It goes from little things like a quick check-in to deep things like scheduling time to actually talk or even traveling together, going on trips together, doing things spontaneous together. But that frequent communication is very important.
Yeah. And I think you've really touched on something important, and that's constructively using technological innovations for friendship. I've come to realize that the advancements we have in tech has somehow cut people off where they assume that in-person physical meeting doesn't work. There are times when, yes, truly environment does separate you. Someone has relocated, but when you can, one thing that I think affects friendship these days too is that assuming that we don't have to meet. Sometimes you're living with a friend who is just 1,000 hours away from you and you guys have not seen for 4 months. Yeah, and it's just, if in that 4 months you've seen 4 times, it would have gone a long way for the relationship. So I think constructively using technology, there's nothing wrong with scheduling, like you said. Some people say, then it's not coming freely, it's not flowing, is it not automated? That seems robot. See, if you're not busy, that's when you say that. If you're really busy and you really want to make time for friendships, you would use technology to your advantage.
Yeah.
Even simply as knowing your friend has a show, your friend has an exhibition, your friend has this, and you just schedule it. Oh, someone just told you something. Oh, do you know I have this on this day? And you just put in your calendar, call XYZ to ask them how this was. Something that little. Even you can cast your mind back to how it felt when someone just reached out. Oh, I know you had a talk by 2 and they are reaching out to you by 3. How did it go?
Yeah.
Even if, do I care if it was a reminder that reminded the person? I really don't care. For the fact that the person reached out, at least they had the mind to deem me important enough to put me on their calendar.
Yeah, perfect for me.
So,
right.
So we can use technology essentially very well to our advantage.
Yeah. All right, so we've come to the conclusion of this lovely conversation about friendship. And as usual, we're going to leave you with a call to action, which is your assignment after this. And what I want everyone who's listening today to do is that I want you to spend some time, an hour or two, really reflecting on the people you call your friend and why you call them your friends. What are your values? What is important for you in a friendship? And do these people really fit into that? Are they your friends? Are they acquaintances? Are they people you just met? Are they really just your colleagues? Because just because a person is your colleague is not your friend. Are they your colleagues? You work together and that's why the both of you share space. Who is your friend? So I want you to take this time to really review that concept of friendship so that you are investing your effort in the places where you deserve to invest them and in places where they are reciprocated. And once again, don't forget to follow us, subscribe, listen to us on all platforms that you listen to podcasts, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.